Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with you. We're going to talk about anime. We're going to talk about, I don't know, other stuff that's going on with you, stuff that's going on with me. Dude Wants His Rug is here. Harold is here, and Harold is hosting the stream. Ultron's here already. Fantastic crew of folks. My hands are getting weird with the green screen because my sunburn has decreased enough that now my hands are pale enough to be messing with my green screen stuff. That's fun. Aristfan is here. Hi, Aristfan. Happy to have you here as always. Solid crew right off the bat. We do want his rug. Ultron, Aristofan, and Harold in the chat. We're working on this Blitz, my friends. We are working on this Blitz. The Blitz from Gundam Seed. We're going to build some legs, maybe even a waist, maybe start working on the weapons. I don't know. We'll talk about the kit as we build it, but one thing I did want to point out is I have done something that I have not done on any model kit so far, which is I used glue on it before it was done. I used the same liquid cement that we used on our model kit when we built the A86. I took a little bit of that and I just put it around the chest piece here. You can probably see this thing, you probably can see there, right below where it's red, there's a black piece there. Now this is meant to open up so you can see inside the cockpit. But what happens is, it sucks. And this little piece falls off all the fucking time. Like just picking it up and moving it, it will fall off. It is a poor design choice. And I have now glued it. So to be real, use liquid cement. I have melted a thin layer of plastic here and here, and now it is adhered to it. And it could break off. I could break it off, and it would be fine. But I was just like moving this around, getting set up today, and I was like, fuck this thing. Fuck this thing. I'm done. So I've never done that in the build process. I normally don't do anything to the kits. I leave that up to you because eventually I'm going to mail it to y'all. And then y'all can do whatever you want, or my subscribers, because I do the giveaway. But I chose not to do that in this case because fuck that shit. I just can't. We're going to hang out. Hope a few more folks join us. I will also say right off the bat, things could get a little disjointed today. Well, we should say this. Aristofan, that's tier 1, 11-month streak. Thanks again for the Star Wars Lego. I gave it to my nephew, who's really excited to get it. Aristofan, that's lovely. Lashbrook is here, throwing in the emotes. Please, throw emotes in. Aristofan, thank you so much. Now, this actually is a great one. Aristofan, I'm so happy that your nephew is excited. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for being 11-month subscriber. That's awesome. I had to kind of squint and look to read it, right? Because some of the text is not easy for me to read because I am doing everything on one monitor right now. Because on Monday, one of my monitors died about 30-40 minutes after the stream. Ultron says, I may need to do that to the Vidar 1100 because its boosters on its legs keep falling off the slightest breeze. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Bob. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here, Mr. Bob. No, so yeah, one of my monitors fucking died. Now, this was an old monitor. Monitor was my solitary monitor. It's probably 6, 7, 8 years old. It was old. The No Man's Sky expansion may come out tonight. Well, Mr. Bob, I know you're excited about that. I hope it does. I hope you get to No Man's Sky it up and have some fun in there. But yeah, so I have a replacement monitor. A lovely fan, a member of the community, has a spare, and their spare was a 23-inch monitor, which is what I needed because I had two 23-inch monitors. That's a good size for the stand that I have that holds the two monitors together. So right now I just have one of the monitors on the stand and the other one with a counterweight, and I keep looking at it to read chat, and it should be right there, but it's not. It's right here, and then OBS is smaller, and I don't like that. Just so y'all know, I don't like that. Uh, Mr. Bob says, if I was in NYC, would help you dumpster dive. It's on my bucket list. Yeah, I'm in a financial spot that I would probably look to figure that out. Uh, Ironicus says, hello, I haven't built an MG yet, but I do have one in the mail. I'm baby. Good luck with the monitor trouble. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And congratulations that you have a master grade coming in the mail. I say this all the time. Let's go to the overhead. We'll look at the Blitz, and we're going to start. We're going to build some feet. We're going to put some feet on this eventually, but we'll build the feet. So we have the overhead. Things are weird. I had to rearrange some stuff because of not having two monitors. It'll all be fine. Congrats. I have been known to say this on stream, that the 1/100 Master Grade is my favorite scale and grade. Do you have a table, Pat? Would that be a thing that would help the monitor situation? So, a tablet. So, I do have a tablet, but, so last night, I did a stream where I streamed from Twitch Sings, and then I had my laptop open with chat, and that worked out fine. Really, it's a matter of table space. That worked out fine because I'm not building, but I'm going to be building tonight. So that is the big thing, is I need room in order to build. So the idea of having a stand with two monitors on it, just at the back of my table, my build area, is very convenient. I could have a laptop up, but it would be sticking out. I'd have to work with that. So it's not the biggest deal in the world because I'm not pulling footage. It's not that hard to stream and do all that. It's just I have to get used to it. Because I mean, I did it all the time when I would stream off my laptop. I would just have stuff in windowed mode and have multiple things, and you just deal with it. So it's okay. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, I love a master grade in the 1/100 scale. Look, a 1/100 high grade, they're fun. But after a while, you get the unique challenges of the master grade. And you get to build details, but they're not microscopic. Like, if you pick up a real grade, that's the 1/4 scale. Real grades are, they're like master grades, but smaller. It's an easy way to look at it. But you're dealing with a lot of very tiny pieces. And they can be frustrating. They're not my favorite. That's why I don't really love real grades. I'm tempted by the new Tall Geese that is a real grade. Certainly, Tall Geese 3 real grade. I am tempted by our Tall Geese 2 real grade. I can't remember. But I am tempted, certainly. Because I do like them. But the 1/100 Master Grade is just the scale I like building it. I think you get a good, sturdy kit. And anything after 2015, really, is built really well. If it has trouble standing up, it includes a base. Almost, not every kit, but most kits. Most kits, they're like, this doesn't actually work. Put a base in it. The early 2000 teens, the mid 2000s kits, sometimes can be hit or miss with master grades, but I think, honestly, anything after 2015, is just an excellent kit that you're not going to have any problems putting together. So good luck. As always, I am a prosumer when it comes to model kits. There are folks out there with much more experience, with much more know-how, with much more ability than me. I am an amateur that just does it a lot and enjoys it. But yeah, and I do enjoy it. So, to go back to what I was saying, I'm getting a monitor. It's coming from California. It should be here sometime next week. It happens to be a 23-inch. Hello! Hello, Dirty. Happy to have you here. Because having a dual monitor just makes... Look, dual monitor for this is great. Dual monitor just in general, just having videos on another screen and and being able to tab things over, like being able to edit things and then look at the preview on a full screen, like all that stuff. It's just helpful. So I have another monitor coming, and I'm very excited about that because that should theoretically be soon. Oops. Doing a step that I don't need to be doing where I missed a thing. So now we'll get to undo our stuff. So we'll take our tools out and fix the mistake that I made. So we need PC6, which is here. Correct. Hello, Recyclable. Happy to have you here. Welcome all. Already, we got a great crew tonight. Very happy to have you all here on our Thursday night. Let's see. So, monitor stuff has been annoying. What I ended up doing the other day is I have an older TV with an HDMI, and I use that just to have like a second monitor for a few things. But the way my graphics card is, the top slot has the HDMI. The other slot only has DVI. So I can't convince. There's a way to do it. I just have not been able to convince everything on my computer that the TV should be the second monitor and not the primary monitor. So it keeps wanting to open games in that. So I've been playing Hearthstone on an old TV in a weird format where everything gets really small the more cards you have, and it's not good. So that has not been a pleasurable experience. All right, so what I ended up doing was I put the back of these of the feet here on, but I forgot to put the rubber piece in, which will allow the leg to connect with it and make a full connection. So I'm attempting to pry these apart without breaking anything. So I'm going to attempt to use this wedge here to wedge underneath wherever I can, get myself a starting point, and then the rest should be easy. And anytime you're doing this, when you're separating pieces, either because you messed something up or because you want to paint things and it's easier to have it separated or whatever reason, you're filing things down again, you just have to be careful with it because these pieces don't, they don't want to separate. The ones that, like, where the hands are connected here, right? These hands, they want you to be able to swap hands out, whatever. Those will move around a bit. But generally, most of these connections don't want to separate. They want to stay together. And if they did want to separate, that would be annoying. They'd be like the chest part of the Blitz that I had to glue on because it's too fucking loose and annoying. Alright. The other big news of the day. Try to do metal. Well, I got other tools. Let's try some other tools here. And of course, I am attempting to do all this without using my snipper clips because that'll ruin the clips, and I don't want to do that. So the big news of today was an anonymous donator put me over the top and completed my GoFundMe that I had reopened this week, 2 days ago. For those that don't know, I had started a GoFundMe earlier in the year, a couple months ago, and I reopened it because the Airbnb that I was planning to stay at canceled on me. Thank you, Ultron. Yes, I'm very excited. So this has now happened 2 years in a row in Seattle, where I booked something a couple months in advance, not 5 months or 6 months, like 3 months in advance, and too close to the event, they canceled on me. Now, the first time it was, I don't know why it happened. They just canceled it, and it sucked. And the second time, this one, they're just like, yeah, we're not an Airbnb anymore. Sorry. Like, they sent me a message, which I appreciate, but also, what if you were an Airbnb and you weren't doing this to me? Now, what ends up happening is like, oh, you get your money back, no problem. But It's now a month away till PAX West. So suddenly, I'm going to switch to the other one, see if I can pop this one open, if it'll be a little easier. I have to get both these open anyway, but, might as well see if I can get one of these going here. Very frustrating. I just don't want to break these pieces as I'm attempting to separate them. No, so the one thing, thank you. It is very happy about it. Because it's a month away, all of the cheaper Airbnbs have been bought up or rented out. So I opened up the zone of where I would be willing to go because I always try to book something. Yes, Mr. Bob, it is the ultimate honor system. Yeah. I always try to book something that's in walking distance because I don't mind traveling. But I'd rather, especially at a convention where I'm not tabling, like this one, I'm not going to be tabling. I'd much rather walk and collect my thoughts in the morning and then take, like a cab back at night if I need to or whatever. Especially since a lot of cities that I end up in don't have 24-hour public transportation outside of, like our buses maybe, but most of the time don't have anything like that, so it doesn't really matter because I'm going to get out late anyway. So, luckily, okay, so I got these separated. Now I can put on the piece I need. So here's a pro tip for Airbnb, y'all. When you pay for your Airbnb, use PayPal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, PayPal just takes out of my bank account anyway, so I'll just use a credit card or I'll just use my debit card or whatever. Don't do that. Because if there's a refund offered by the owners, they have to go through the people that you're renting from. They have to go through Airbnb, and for some reason, it takes like 5 to 14 days for the money to get back into your checking account because it has to go to your bank and do all the stuff. Your debit account, your credit card, whatever. It takes a while. It's not like, hey, you got a refund. But with PayPal, you get it back, I think it's 1 to 3 days. It's way faster. So you get the money back way easier and quicker. So now anytime I do Airbnb, I always pay through PayPal. And it definitely has... It means that I can get a new place right away. Because you might be like me, where you don't have the money to just float that money. Because it's like, well, I've never had issues with PayPal. They're pretty quick with customer service. Yes, recyclable, they certainly are. Most of this issue seems to be Airbnb in their deal with the banks and all that, which is a tough situation, and I don't have to deal with it, so I'm not like, whatever. I just know that last year, what I ended up doing was borrowing money from a friend against the money that Airbnb was going to give me back because it was going to take, by the time I would have gotten the money back, anything in Seattle would have been completely gobbled up by people who were like last minute going, you know what, I will go to PAX, like that kind of thing. Or just, oh, you know what, it's Labor Day weekend, let's go to Seattle. And obviously, the real truth of the matter is that I should get myself through effort and luck into a financial position where I can afford a hotel and not an Airbnb. That would be ideal if I could go and stay in a hotel and do all that. I could have chosen a while back when I started doing this to raise even more money than I did, because even the amount I did now with the bonus extra money I need to get a new Airbnb, which now I have and it's all taken care of, that money, it's still way lower than getting a hotel room for several days in Seattle on a holiday weekend. Like, it's a lot of money to do that. Especially if you're going to try to stay at a hotel near the convention center. Like, I'm just not in a position where I can financially do that. But then you run the risk that I run, which is the place you need is suddenly unavailable, and it's not in a good time frame because you're going there. And it's not like you're going to cancel your trip. You're just going to have to get another place. It's frustrating. Um, but it happens. And it's taken care of. So now I can breathe. Um, Booked it, paid for the whole thing, because sometimes you can pay half now and a half later. Paid for the whole thing, and then I will be getting the money from GoFundMe. GoFundMe's interesting. If you've never done a GoFundMe, one, you probably haven't. The folks that are watching right now most likely have not. If you have, hey, it's totally possible, but most likely you haven't. You got to put in your bank information and all that, and they say the first withdrawal could take a while. And even though I had already run this program or run this, and I was just like reopening it and adding more money to it, basically increasing the goal, they're like, oh, it could take a week. It took a day, so that was very helpful. But there was that point where I was like, ooh, when am I going to get this money? This wonderful money that folks are being very generous in donating. Worked out okay. But yeah, I would love to be in a position where I can stream, and it would be amazing to do a build stream where I did not talk about becoming a subscriber, renewing your subscription if you let it lapse because you use Twitch Prime and you got to do that, telling you about my Patreon, plugging my Amazon wishlist, talking about the weird steps you have to go through if you want an alternative to my Amazon wishlist, talking about my coffee, all of that. It would be great if I could go stream without having to do that. But I am currently not in a position where that is the case. So I'd love to just be able to say, like, hey, y'all, have you checked out Barnes & Noble? Because their sale is for most of August. And check your local store to see the Gunpla they have on sale, because the online stuff is probably going to go, but the in-store stuff might still be there because people don't like to go to stores. They like to buy online. Like, I'd love to focus on that stuff. Or, like, I'd like to tell you right now that I pre-ordered the 2 new Gundam Wing model kits that Bandai put out. Guess what? I do not have the money to pre-order those. I, at some point, hopefully will get them. I will pay more than they're asking from a third party at a convention, but I will get that Shenlong with a sword. And I will get that Heavy Arms with extra missile launchers and a big backpack and all these other extra parts. And I will build both of those because I built Gundam Wing model kits. Because that's what I do. That's what I do here. Like, yeah, I'm going to do all that. Of course I am. But, like, yeah, I can't pre-order those. I'd like to, but I can't. It's not financially possible right now. And I look forward to having a time where I am in a position where I can. Recyclable asks, have you tried that new Gundam game, mobile game that came out? Yeah! I bounced off of it almost immediately. The real thing is I don't play a lot of mobile games. Literally, the 2 games, I have 3 games on my phone. I have Solitaire, I have Pokemon Shuffle, which is a match 3 game that's Pokemon themed, that they stopped updating, but I still play it every day, because there's still stuff there are Pokemon I need to catch by beating puzzles. And Pokemon Go. I have no other games on my phone. I'm not really a mobile gamer. Uh, this is not the way I want to break Gundams. Yeah, Mr. Bob, I understand. So look, the tutorial where because I had pre-ordered the free game, the tutorial where they were like where I'm piloting the Wing Zero, that's cool as shit. That's very cool. But I think I put like 15, 20 minutes in, and I was like, man, I don't want to do this. Onboarding for mobile games always loses me. Yeah, it was mostly just like, it wasn't the anime-ness of it. It wasn't the weird, like, choices to be a weirdo. It wasn't even the fact that your character can just lie or doesn't know anything about Gundam but has a bunch of Gundam stuff at their part in their bedroom. Like, okay, all that, whatever. It was just that I was like, oh, I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I'm gonna do this. Um, so yeah, I made the choice to stop playing it. And I'm sure it's going to be somebody's fucking Gundam game. And they're going to be really psyched about it. But, yeah, I'm just not much of a mobile gamer. Try to stay out of, like, gotcha stuff. I like card game stuff. I mean, look, I should... one of the reasons why I don't have Hearthstone on my phone is because I am home a lot and play enough Hearthstone on my second monitor. So that would probably be on my phone if I wasn't, if I was traveling more or on the road more or like at a job at a desk more. I like it, but it eats the battery. Yeah, Ultron. It also made my phone very hot, and I was like, nah, I don't like that at all. I don't need that shit. I don't need a hot phone. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I mean, I'll leave it on my phone for a bit. I'll keep an eye on it if people are like, oh, wow, this part, holy shit, and I start hearing good things about it. Maybe. I mostly download it for the novelty of a Gundam mobile game. And also the promise that if I signed up early, I would be able to get the Wing Zero. And I was like, well, I don't not want the Wing Zero. I gotta go. I gotta go out tomorrow. Look for some more. For some. My neighborhood right now, where I've just been kind of running errands, doesn't have. It almost never has any Team Rocket grunts, and I need to defeat some Team Rocket grunts and purify some Pokemon. Oh, so that's also a thing I found out. Uh, I'm not good at fighting in Pokemon Go. I never do. I don't do raids. I don't, or gym battles that often. Uh, yeah. I'm mostly just the collector. So I'm like, oh, I'm not good at this part. I haven't found a way to turn it on and off in the options, but I turned it on the battery saving mode the moment it asked. Yes. Did you pick up this kit more for the build experience, the design, or did you like it in the show? So Iron, I don't remember much of Seed. So what happens is because I build Lego and model kits 6 hours a week, I long past hit the point where I stopped working on kits that I like always wanted to work on, and I've started just working on kits that are interesting. So I picked up Blitz because it feels a little bit like the Death Scythe, which is my favorite kit of all time. It's the black, the red, the fact that it's a stealth Gundam, the fact that it has a grappling hook like attachment, the fact that like it's got a shield that also has a gun that is a dart gun or something. Like, there's a lot to this kit that just interested me. So a lot of it is aesthetics. I also try to build things that are new to me, right? So I'm going to build some full mechanics or the RE100 line. I've been building some stuff off that. I try to find some old kits, like we built the gun cannon, and that was really fun to build, and that felt like a really, or I worked on a 1999 perfect grade of the Charzaku. That, had a history to it and felt like an important thing. But yeah, often a lot of this now is new kits come out, and I'm like, that sounds good. And then sometimes it's just like, I don't know, if I look at my wish list right now, let's see. If I go and look at my wish list, I've got a lot of, let's see. I've just got, when I look at the model kits I have in there, there are a lot of things like, it would be fun to build the Haro mobile suit thing that I have on my wish list, because, any 1/100 scale weapon works with it, and that seems silly because it's just a big ball in a mech suit, so like an exosuit, so that's silly. Or the Justice Gundam is just a cool looking Gundam. I'd like to build that. I got a lot of mobile suits in here and Gundams that just look cool. The Exia looks cool. Just stuff like that, That's kind of where I'm at when it comes to suits, The Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed. Kind of reminds me of the Wing Gundam, and it looks neat, that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's, I would like to buy a real grade and build a real grade that was built in 2018 or 2019, because I'd like to see how the real grades have progressed over the years, the last couple of years of them. I've heard good things. I've heard it's gotten to be that they kind of figured out how to do it better. And then I have one rule, which is this channel builds Gundam Wing model kits and kits that are inspired by Gundam Wing. So the Build series, the Gundam Build Fighters and Build Divers that are kits that are inspired by other kits. We built the Love Tyrant, which is basically a Death Scythe with spider legs. Yeah, I'm going to build that. I love the Death Scythe. It's my favorite kit. So, of course, I'm going to build that. The Finise is a Wing Gundam model that has been, souped up and modified. I want to build that. But yeah, at this point now, it's a lot of this seems fun. That kit looks cool. That looks interesting. With just a little bit of that, maybe some people could learn something about this if I build this. A little bit of that. How do you store your completed kit? So, one of the things that I do on this channel, which I decided to do a while ago, is every month, the last stream of the month, so in this case that was Monday, I draw a name from a current subscriber, and I will send them a kit. So what I do is I'll put my completed kit back in its box, and then I will wrap that kit in the box in usually I get the because I buy a lot of kits on Amazon and get sent to me on Amazon. I have a lot of the expanded bubble wrap, big bubble wrap. So I wrap the kits in that, and then use paper to kind of fill out the box. And then when I put the box inside a box to ship, I always use paper to kind of make that go in there. So I literally have a giant wall of boxes with model kits and Lego sets in it. With Lego, I have to occasionally, or pretty often sometimes, take apart the kit into sections. Like, I got to take the legs off this big kit or the wheels off to get them back in the box. That's actually frustrating. And then there are some kits that I just keep, that I'm like, you know what? This is mine, and this is going to live here, in my apartment, and sometimes it's because that kit is too big to mail or too hard to get back in its box. Uh, Especially because like with model kits, I've never built. The closest I got is the perfect grade for the Zaku 2. The perfect grade, there's a box within the box, and it barely fits in that box within the box. But I've never built a model kit that didn't fit in the box that it came in. I have built plenty of Lego sets that will never fit in that box. Uh, so it's easier to store that way. And the same thing with my Dragon Ball kits and any other like of the action figure model kits that I have built. Um, I built this thing where I bought a bunch of small little kits that all transformed, but then combined into one giant kit, and they were all different Tony choppers from One Piece, and they combined into a giant Tony chopper, which is the best. And one of those didn't fit in the box, but I don't care because it ruled. Like I don't give a shit because it's just so good, and also that's on display. I will say the gacha nature of this, of the game that they're playing, breaks my tendency to make stock kits in Breaker 3 instead of some sort of mismatch. Okay. Yeah, I think that like that the mismatch thing is interesting. Like, because it's not like, yeah, if I'm playing a game, I kind of want to make the mech I like. Instead of being like, well, I like this mech because it's very versatile. I like this kit because it's versatile, but it has a lot of movability, but I'm going to put giant guns on it because that's cool. You just hit strongest buttons, so you get some weird shit. Yup, that's one way to do it. We've been talking about some of the kit bashing stuff that we're going to be doing on stream, and I gotta say, y'all, I am excited to figure this shit out. For those that don't know, when this Blitz is done, the next project we're going to be working on is we're going to be kit bashing 2 Iron-Blooded Orphans kits together. I had built a Grimgard, which is a fantastic, weird-looking kit, and I'm going to take parts of that apart. So that won't go out to somebody that subscribed to the channel. That's just going to be for building. So I'm taking that, and then I'm going to be building the Baratos Lupus Rex full mechanics from Iron-Blooded Orphans, which I have like a second copy of, and it's missing a couple pieces that I had to use for parts. So I never thought I would do anything with it, other than spare parts for some other, kit. So I'm going to be taking that, and we're going to mismatch the two together. I can show you what that like. So basically, I'm going to be taking like some of the arms, and probably the weapons, and maybe the head, and putting it on this kit, and like keeping the legs, but maybe putting the other feet on, and of course building the big sword because it's got a fucking big sword, and we're gonna build that. And I'm looking forward to like figuring that out. Like, y'all know from the stream that I follow the instructions and go step by step, but like I'm not gonna build the head of the Lupus Rex because I don't think I want to use the head. So I'll just skip that step. And I don't have to build the arms because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using the Grimgard arms because the Grimgard arms are fucking rad. So I can skip that step. And like, I don't skip steps. It's going to be weird. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really interesting time. And I'm going to be learning a lot as I go. This is your first step in the greater world of Gunpla. Yeah, I mean, it's like... yeah, I've never done custom kits. I've never done add-ons. I, of course, know about them and the molding and all that. Like, it's never been a thing that I've done. And I'm really excited about finding this out. And then I have another kit that like I was never going to send out because it's huge and the box is just too big to send out to anybody. And I also don't really like the kit. It has a lot of weapons and rockets, and I don't know if we're going to be able to use any of those on there, but I took it apart, and I'm just going to have those pieces, and we'll see if we want to use any of them. But the most of it is going to be combining the Lupus Rex and the Grimgard into our own gunpla, our own, like, mobile suit that you might have seen in Iron-Blooded Orphans if I designed a mobile suit for Iron-Blooded Orphans. I don't know. It's exciting. I think it could be really cool. I haven't really talked about this kit too much. There's not much to say. We're building stuff for the legs right now. It's all pretty standard stuff. I love the purple and black. Just a great combination of colors. The Blitz, like, it feels kind of Death Scythe, and, you know, I enjoy that. But also, like, it also just has this kind of, I don't know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's pleasing to me. The colors are pleasing. That's what I want to say. It's got a look to it that I really like. It's a sharp. It's a kit that when I saw it, I was like, why haven't I built this on stream yet? I was like surprised, and mostly it's because like I don't think about Gundam Seed ever, because I have no connection to it, so I don't think about the show. So I didn't like go like, oh yeah, I should build that. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun build. I'll mention it again when I take my pause for the cause, but just a reminder, it's now August, so if your subscription needs to be renewed because you use your Twitch Prime coin, which thank you if you do, you make sure that you have renewed that. And Bits and Coins, the leaderboard for cheers have now been reset. So if you would like to cheer at some point, you can now jump onto the leaderboard. Just a little bit of bragging rights. But mostly, I'm just happy to have a bunch of y'all here as I build this model kit. As I said, it's a little disjointed here because I have everything on one screen. And normally I am a dual monitor setup. Don't have my second monitor. But I'm excited that I will be getting that second monitor next week. And we can get by. I'm definitely going to have my laptop open when I stream Hearthstone next week. In case the monitor doesn't come. Because I'm going to do a stream next Tuesday, my next bonus game stream next Tuesday, because there'll be a new Hearthstone expansion. And I want to play the new Hearthstone expansion. So I will be doing a stream on... where's this go? These not go? Oh, these are like ankles. Okay. So yeah, I'll be doing a bonus game stream on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. That gives enough time for the servers to catch up with, in case there's an excess of people wanting to play, which I don't necessarily think is going to happen because it's been a while since that's happened. But you never know. This could be the one where a lot of people come back to play Hearthstone because the quests are coming back, and people, myself included, really like quests in Hearthstone. It's really very fun. So, new quests. I'm excited about that. There is a rogue deck I really want to make, so I've been trying to keep my goal to buy packs to hopefully get it, or at least then have enough materials to craft it. But I really want to make this rogue deck because there's a rogue deck that relies on stealing things from your opponent and your opponent's class, and I love that. I love Thief Rogue, so that is exciting to me. There's a few other things that are coming in, but that's the one that I was like, yep, this is what I like. This is how I like to do things. Yeah, trying to think if there's anything else going on with me. My stream on Saturday will be at 6 p.m. Eastern instead of the normal 9 p.m. Eastern. I apologize. I figured with Saturday, it might be okay for folks to not have the evening. I apologize that my Saturdays are so weird last week and then coming up in the future. They're just going to be weird. But I'm picking up a shift at the theater that I tech at, and I have so little consistent income these days that I can't say no. And also, that person's going to do one of my shifts while I am in Seattle, so I definitely felt the need to pay them back. It'll be fine. But yeah, so Saturday, I'll have an early stream. So that'll be 6 p.m. Eastern instead of the usual 9 p.m. Eastern time. I think it'll be okay. Looking at HLJ, there's a bunch of new Build Divers kits. One with a humongous sword, too. Lashbrook says they just announced a new show. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at a bunch of new kits. I don't know what to make of. Ooh, a new show. Well, I'm excited about that. I don't know quite what to make of the that weird SD Gundam show. I know it's monthly. I'm excited for the August episode so I can really get a sense of what the fuck that thing is. But it's like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but also a little like zombie apocalypse-y, and then also Gundams. And there's just something about a Gundam with a ponytail that is so weird. A Gundam with a beard. This is very strange shit. Which I love. And also motorcycles. Very weird. Just a weird thing. Iron says, the new Divers Show kit includes another Harlopla. Oh, cool. But in the shape of one of the weird mobile armor. Oh. Ooh, that sounds cool. I'll have to take a look at all this. Y'all got me stuff to do tonight, which is good. I always look forward to having things to do. Alright, so this goes in here. This goes... So this has got one of those things where as the knee bends, like, parts move. So you just have to kind of slowly make sure that you are putting things where they need to go. Making sure that the connectors are in the right spot so that range of movement actually happens. It's not hard, but it does. Now that I'm used to this, it's easier. When I first started putting together master grades that had these like weird interconnecting, sliding components, it always threw me off. But I've gotten better at doing it. Divers kits are always super weird, and that's great. Says Mr. Bob, I want more things like the Monocopo pool. Yes! I like some weird stuff. I remember they having those Chinese-inspired SD kits for the longest time. Yes! Yeah, because there was another show that was like an SD kind of thing. I mean, there's been other SD shows. This isn't the first one. But this is, like, not the same. But, yeah, the idea of, like, the Gundam Unicorn, but also Lu Bu, Gundam Unicorn, is just a thing that exists. And that's so weird. So weird thing. Coming out with new G Gundam kit. Oh. The weird Devil Gundam fodder. That is so weird, Lashbrook. Why would they make a new G Gundam kit? That's so odd. I mean, it's not like it's a Turn A kit or the weirdest choice that they could possibly make, which would be that they would put out a G Gundam kit. I mean, because that's the weirdest thing possible. If you told me that, not G Gundam, if there was an Gundam X kit coming out, I would be like, no. But yeah, that's weird. Yeah, a G Gundam kit is an odd thing to hear. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to do a. I would say that Build Fighters is bring G back into focus. Yeah, Mr. Bob, I could see that. I could see like that having a rejuvenating effect uh, on some brands or some series of like people being like, "What's this from?" Oh yeah, they had an anniversary coming up, But yeah, if you told me there was a Gundam X with the Delta backpack coming out, I would call you a liar. There's a bunch of G kits in the show. Yeah, I mean, I could see like people being like, oh well, let's put it out. People seem to into these kits in the show. I mean, they're kits with personality, right? We talk about it a lot, the stereotypes and the general weirdness and wonkiness of G Gundam, but those characters do uh, those Gundam kits are very lively and like yeah, they look evocative. They're interesting. They're tied with a lot of bullshit and in many ways awful, but they have a lot of personality. The Tequila Gundam, yeah. So I guess I can see that. I can see that suddenly increasing in popularity. I'm gonna sneeze again. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. It's fun when the character's 1/4 scale goes up against the 1/100 scale and up. Yes. Yes, when you put those, sometimes when you put like the Nobel Gundam, which is only in 1/4 scale, up against like a master grade, yeah, put that next to that. That could be fun. Sorry, I'm yawning as well. Sneezing and yawning. I am not being a professional Pat Baer. What is happening? Where am I going? Um, there's a lot of detail in this kit that I'm really digging. Like this. There's a lot to this that it feels not unnecessary, but surprising. Amount of detail in the legs on this kit. I'm very much enjoying. 26. We'll take a pause for the calls in a moment or two. I want to get a little more progress done on this, and then we'll, take a little break, see, and I'll talk about ways that you can support the stream if that's something you want to do. Couldn't fall asleep last night. After Twitch Sings, I ended up on the phone with a friend who lives out in California, and it was not late for them, but they're also a night person like me. And at a certain point, they just went, "Oh wait, it's 3 hours later for you, huh?" And I was like, "Yup, I should go to bed." So yeah, I got a little tired yesterday. No biggie. I had fun though. I really like Twitch Sings. It's a fun app. I like singing, and it's fun to sing for an audience. And some of the features, like the voting feature, I think is really neat. I think the duets are really fun. I can't wait to see if people have, recorded a duet for "I Want It That Way," and I'm excited to see if anyone takes me up on it and sings the other half of it. I'll have to check in. I think that shit's neat. Uh, hmm. Um, but yeah, I'm always excited to do the game streams with y'all. I think, I don't try new things that often, but I think the games I do play are fun, and hopefully people can, learn a little bit. I know that not everyone who likes the channel. They come here for model kit building, and you know, maybe they'll be interested in Hearthstone, or maybe they'll like the Twitch thing stuff. But they could also, like, if they don't, I get that. If people are like, this is not what I watch you for, like, I get that. That's fine. It doesn't have to be for everybody. But on Tuesday, I know I'm going to be playing Hearthstone anyway, so I might as well stream myself and hang out and have some bodies in the chat chatting it up. And we'll get Asmo in to tell me that I'm Miss Lethal. Yeah. Also, new meta is so fun. When everyone's trying to figure out what the new hot deck is, and nobody quite knows what their opponent is going to be playing, and just it's a fun time to playing a game, especially a card game like that, where nobody's quite sure what's going to happen. Also, I have Kids by MGMT stuck in my head from yesterday. It has been stuck in my head since I sang it on my Twitch stream. It has been stuck in my head, and that sucks. It's a good song. Don't get me wrong. It's just stuck in my head, and I don't enjoy that. Alright, so B1. Putting some armor on our kits here. Do that. Alright. I'm going to put the other armor in there. So I'm going to put the armor on here. There's more to go, but I'll put this armor on, and then we will take our pause for the cause, and talk a little bit at you for a moment or two, and then we'll get back into building. That's how that's going to go. All right. Alright, and now the other one. Well, we're definitely making progress because we are finishing off sheets, and so when spruces and sheets start going, you know you're getting there. I think tonight we'll definitely finish up the legs and probably start the weapons, and then or maybe the waist. Is the waist next? Yeah, gotta do the waist. So we might end up being body complete tonight. If not, we'll be very close to it. And then weapon stuff is next. And there's not too much weapons, but it's layered because the shield is also the gun. And then he's got the drone style thing that's also the weapon to build. And we also have this wire for that. So we'll have to figure out how that works. I'm gonna put this wire in there so that the grappling hook can have some definition and look cool. That'll be fun. All right. Okay, so now it's time for the pause for the cause. First and foremost, thanks for watching the Build with Baer workshop. If you are currently a subscriber, throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Throw the Lego emote in there. Let the people know. Scythe, if you're a tier 2 or tier 3, those folks don't watch that often. Let the people know. Right now, I would love to build up the subscriber list. It's tapered off the last couple of months. We'll have a bit of an increase after PAX because that always seems to happen. I'll do a show that's in a streaming room and mention the name of the stream, and we'll get some new followers. That's going to be great. But a reminder that, if you let it lapse, or if you've been watching for a while, if you got your Twitch Prime coin because you have your Amazon linked with Twitch, consider giving me a subscription. Or use Cash Money if that's something you'd like to do. if you'd like to go that route. You've got options, and it would be cool. But it's not necessary. It's certainly not something you have to do. I wouldn't mind it, but it's not something you have to do. Secondly, if you were like, I don't want to support Amazon or Twitch. I have an account, but I don't subscribe. I also have a Patreon, and today's the first day of the month. So if you went to my Patreon, which is in the show description on YouTube after the fact, and right now in the chat, if you went in there, you get the full month. There's stuff for $1, $3, $5, $10. Take a look at that. I'm going to get through my ads quick, and then we'll get back into the building and talk about anime, because I have 6 shows to talk about. So some that I want to spend more time on than others, but I got some anime to talk about. We got my Amazon wish list. If you would like to see me build a model kit, after my kit bash, I have some Lego sets to build, but they're small. I'm going to have to get some more stuff off my wish list. I have some inexpensive price stuff right now. The Master Roshi's Wagon, which is a small kit. It would take me like no time to build. That's on sale right now for $8. So that was 10. It's a good deal. But I put some cheap stuff up top and some more expensive stuff as you go. A master grade, which is going to be 3 or 4 streams, down to a high grade, which is 1.5 streams usually. It's tough to ask for people to spend a lot of money for me to build, and I understand that. I still do it, but I do understand. And then I'll mention that if you're like, I don't want to buy something off your wish list, Pat, but it's the most convenient way to get you a model kit that you can build on stream. What do I do otherwise? Well, if you want to be a little more complicated, you could go to USA Gundam Store and go to the gift card section and buy a gift card. You get a code in your email for your gift card. It's a digital gift card. Then you whisper me here on Twitch. You send me a DM, because my DMs are open on Twitter. You send me a private message because you're a patron and go, here's a code. Buy yourself something fun on that. And I go, okay. And then I buy something on USA Gundam Store. That's an option. Or also, I got a coffee. You just put a donation in there. Buy me a coffee on coffee. That's the way to go. What you should do is forget helping me out. You watch the stream. That's awesome. Having you here is great. When you come and hang out, tell a friend. That's great too. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Join my Discord. Join the Build with Baer community Discord. It's nice. People post photos. People can post photos of kits they've been working on. I post photos of all the kits that I've built on stream in my progress photos. People plug themselves. You can check out Canadian Papa Bear's Lego stream and some other cool folks. Harold posts when often his schedule posts there. You can check that out. It's a nice little thing. It is not the most lively Discord, but also it is not a Discord that you're like, shit, I didn't go there today. I'm going to be lost. It moves at a nice pace. And then I did a thing yesterday. Every week I do a web video called Background and Characters. The one I put up yesterday, I am a Scooby-Doo inspired villain. It's one of my favorites. Check it out. It's honestly one of the best I've done. It's like my 31st or whatever, 30th or whatever. But yeah, I just grabbed an image and put it on my green screen, which I'm on here now, and then I improvise a character based on the green screen, and it's fun. And they're silly and they're all short, so I don't know. If that's something that interests you, check it out. And I think that's all I have to promote. So now we'll get back to building, and while we're building, I can talk about anime, because between the Monday stream and the Thursday stream, a bunch of shows come out on Tuesday and Wednesday, and one show that I watch comes out on Thursday. I also watch a show that comes out on Friday. I'll talk about that first, because it's confusing to talk about. So I started watching A certain scientific accelerator. Now, already that sounds like a nightmare, and it is. So, if you know anime stuff, you may have heard of a certain magical index or a certain scientific railgun. These are the same shows, but they're not the same seasons, and they focus on different characters, but it's all the same world. And now Accelerator is another series in that world. And the thing is that the series go in their own timeline, or their own pacing, not timelines, but pacing. So a certain scientific accelerator, the series we're watching now, is, spoiler alert, the events directly after Accelerator got shot in the head. Now, if you've been watching certain magical index, we are way past him being shot in the head. There's a whole other bullshit that's happened to Accelerator since then. And then Railgun is someone in the past, and then like there's an order that if you wanted to watch it chronologically, you could follow this order, and now it's being updated because of Accelerator. Or you can just watch the seasons as they were released and realize that now you're getting context that you didn't have before. Or you could do what I do, which is I know broadly what the fuck is going on. And I'm just enjoying it because I like the characters. I like Accelerator. He is a bad guy. He has done terrible things, but he also is a good guy. And he does not want you to say that. He does not want to be a hero. He has no good reason for being a hero. But he also has very specific ideals about what being a villain is. And most people's villainous stuff, he does not think is good. He does not think they are good at being a villain. He's a weird character and really strong and nonsense and has some really great monologues about the nature of evil. And he's paired with a cute, fun person. A cute, fun little girl. The Last Order. So Ultron, you shouldn't tell him he's an anti-hero because he does not want it. He wants to be a villain. He's got in his head that he's a villain. And do not get it twisted. He is a villain. He has murdered characters. Now, many of those characters were in life or death situations, and they chose to attack him. And in some instances, it is self-defense. In most instances, he is acting in self-defense when he brutally murders some fuckers. But also, this dude is fucked up and a nightmare. And then he's paired with a very cute, fun little lady named the Last Order. So this is hard. This is impossible to explain. Impossible to explain. Well, but I'll try. So there's a character in the series, and they made a bunch of clones of her. And then one of the clones, they all look identical, and they all talk in the third person. But they also talk. They talk like they are. They talk like they're narrating in the third person. That's the best we can say. So they're like, "I already have that information." Misaka replies, frustrated with the conversation. So they talk like that. And then, for some reason, the last one they made of these... There is a reason. The last one they made of these clones is younger. A child called the Last Order. And they made her younger so they feel that they could control her better. But she is like the fail-safe that can like shut down all of these clones that... They're clones, but they're also kind of androids. They all connect on a neural network, and it's a whole... There's so much. Anyway, what you need to know is that Last Resort is cute and fun. And Accelerator, who is, by all accounts, an asshole and a monster, really likes her and wants to protect her. And, like, legitimately does his fucking best to protect her. And it's good. It's good. So, anyway, it's also weird to watch a show where I'm watching the events happen, but I've already seen way past it and know what's coming up. Because it's one thing to have, like, spoilers. It's another to have a thing take place at a different, like, time. It's a weird... it's a weird thing. Sorry, I'm just making sure these are all on right. I think that goes like that, and then it goes like this. Yeah. Nope, wrong way. Okay, I gotta put these on the way. So anyway, I don't know if the next episode comes out tomorrow. I assume I'm gonna watch it. I don't know if I'm gonna keep up with it because it is, like I said, it is a weird thing to watch a show where you're like, I kind of know what happens here, but kind of don't, and that is a weird thing. So I'm not 100% sure that I'm gonna keep up with it, but it's interesting. Let's see. Okay, so next show I want to talk about. Black Clover. Great action scenes here. Not to get into some spoiler stuff in case people were watching, because I do recommend the show. I think it's great. Look, there's a lot of episodes if you want to get into it. If you're looking for a deep dive on a show, you could do a lot worse, because I think there's a lot of good stuff in Black Clover. Hey, here's the thing. If you work for a thing that underlings of evil organizations never seem to understand is there are people that are doing evil things because they are inherently evil. And there are people who are doing evil things because they need to reset the world or destroy this one thing. And they don't think they're evil. If your evil boss doesn't think that they are evil, you need to get out of there because you're evil. And eventually, they're going to turn on you. Your boss is going to turn on you, which happened today, or happened this week. And it was very funny because they were like shocked. They're shocked at the guy that hates humanity, who's a lich. He's like, is going to kill a bunch of his underlings who are evil humans. It's like, y'all should have seen that coming. It is very funny that you did not. You should have seen it coming. That the evil dude who thinks he's saving the world is going to turn on you. It was very funny to me because they were very surprised. It's like, come on. If you're devoted to the guy that's going to kill all the humans and you're a human, he's probably going to kill you. That's that. Are You Lost? Are You Lost is such an interesting show because it's a slice of life, and which I very much enjoy, and it's horny, but it doesn't seem to be horny in like an exploitative way. It's just like there and weird. It's a weird show. I like it. I would recommend people watch Are You Lost because it's like 12-minute episodes and like just odd. It's just an odd show. I don't know. I'm bad at describing it because it is unique in that it's a show about 4 high school students who are trapped on an island after a plane crash, and they're all coming together, and one of them, as a young child, traveled the world as a survivalist with her father. So she has a good understanding of survival situations. And then the others are like a gung-ho bookworm, a person who's like a very positive builder, which is fun, and uh, a kind of like princess who's delicate. And it's an interesting. The characters are interesting, and them coming together is kind of nice. And they had a party, and they ate meat, and there's a whole thing about rabbits. Uh, it's a whole thing because they're like they think there's a rabbit on the island, and they're like, well, that's meat, but also, can we kill a rabbit if this trap doesn't kill it? And I get that. Iron Venus says, hello from Gen Con, which happens in a time zone where this is on after I do a bunch of stuff rather than when I'm out to dinner. Iron Bina, happy to have you in here. Welcome. I hope you have the best fucking time at Gen Con. I've never been. It's on my list of conventions I'd like to go to. I hope you have a great ass time. And I'm glad that this is after things. Yeah. You know, it's not that late where you are, but still, it's not dinner time. So cool. I hope you're having a great time. I'm just talking about anime that I watched this week, because it's the second half of the show where I often talk about anime. What else you got? Okay, so now we have. I'm going to wait on talking about the isekais, because there are 2 isekais that come out, and I kind of want to compare and contrast them. So I'll say what the anime that came out today, which is if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. So this is a much happier episode than last week's episode. I'll say this. This show would be categorized as a slice of life. If it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. In all accounts, it should be a slice of life that like is dramatic at some points and like some shit goes down. But episode 4 of this fucking thing, this last week's episode, was really like rough, like emotionally. It was a tough one. Latina, our friend, our devil child friend, who's a sweet, wonderful little lady, just making friends and people are hanging out and is having a good time. And then come to find out, the school that she's going to, the teacher finds out she's a devil and has a like freak out because the teacher is racist as fuck. And it was rough. Dirty says, I haven't gotten into last week all the way because I know what's going to happen from the manga. So, last week was rough because it was like violent and sad. And this week was like mostly the most fucking adorable shit. And then there was like an air of, what's going to happen? But it worked out, and you kind of knew it was going to work out. And there was a little surprise this week. Now, I have heard that if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord, goes in a bad, not great direction. I'm hoping that shit happens after the anime's done. Like the season 2 we'll never get of the show. Much in the same way that there's another show about a guy who raises a young lady that goes weird and gets bad. But that doesn't happen in the anime. That happens in the manga. So I'm kind of hoping we got the same thing because I do think it's a cute show. And I don't mind a slice of life where there's some drama, because one of the things about slice of life that is tough is the ones that like nothing happens in. Which, like Flying Witch, which is one of my favorite shows. Nothing happens in Flying Witch. And that can be good or bad. But this one has a little more action than I was expecting. And, yeah, and some... I mean, talking about, like I said, like, this nun who you're like, this is not a cool character. Like, when introduced, you're like, this is not going to go great for Latina. And, yeah. It's messed up. Alright, so the last 2 I want to talk about are the Isekai shows. We've got 2 Isekai. We've got Isekai Cheat Magician. Literally has the name of the subgenre in the name of the show. And Demon Lord Retry, which is on Hulu. If I don't say what it's on, it just assume it's Crunchyroll because that is where I watch most of my anime. I watch 2 shows on Hulu right now. Uh, Furta and Demon Lord Retry. Um, so just know that. Isekai Cheat Magician. He's not the main guy who we know is going to be a great magic user. Unlocks some potential there, but there's a moment where it looks like things are not going to go great, and he's not going to save the day, and things are going to be fucked up. And I like that because one of the things of Isekai is a lot of Isekai, it's wish fulfillment. It's travel to a different world, unlock ability, have all these abilities, be incredible. There's something kind of interesting about that not happening immediately. I talked about Ari Fuerta, which is the best Isekai of the 4 that are out, and how this past week there was a big battle, and he lost an eye during it. He's already lost he's already lost an arm, and now he's lost an eye. Like, there are consequences because he's the weakest of them, which is interesting. Isekai Cheat Magician has a little bit of that. Like, it's clear that he's going to be super powerful. He's going to figure it out. It's going to work out okay. But that little bit of worry. So Isekai, in Isekai Cheat Magician, the very end of the episode, he unlocks the ability to communicate with the spirit that he has to form a contract with, the one that's been whispering to him, but at a cost because he hasn't actually formed the contract. He was just using her powers. So we know from the very first episode, because the very first episode of the teaser, they know about him, and he's a good magician. So we're learning that. So it's kind of interesting to watch him get better at it, and not immediately be good at it. I like that. I think I'm much more interested in that, figuring things out as you go, than just instantly great at magic. I don't know if that's going to be the case tomorrow. Next week it could suddenly be great, but I don't know. Demon Lord Retry. I'm trying to remember exactly what happens in here. Oh! So just when I was I don't know if I like the show. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching it. I like the main girl in it, but there's also this gay character who I can't tell if him being sexual is a joke or just the character. And how to there was a joke about him getting pregnant, and it's just weird, and I don't know what to make of one of the characters in that show. I don't think it's great, of Demon Lord Retry. But then also there are bunny girls, and they were great. They're great new characters, and there's a joke in it that I think is so fucking funny. So they meet these bunny girls. They're a race, and there aren't a lot of them. And one of them says hop, and the other one says I don't know, bun at the end of words. And he's a peon. Yeah. He's why are you doing that? What are you doing? And they're well, humans expect us to do that. And then there's a point where he's what are you doing? And there's a point where they're talking excitedly at one another, and they don't use that they don't use that vocal tick, and then they go back to it when they're talking to him, and it's just him being really frustrated by it. And I was that's a pretty good gag. All right, that's a solid gag. I like that. Um, and there is something interesting about the tough character we saw earlier in the series, the Holy Maiden, who is now feeling like very. She has like a crush on a character that we saw for a brief minute. Which now I've now figured this out. Okay, so Demon Lord Retry, a guy who was like running a game, an online game that was more like GTA than like World of Warcraft. He was running a GTA style online style game. He had got sucked into this world. So he looks like a mafia boss, but he's sucked into a fantasy world. He has now abilities he can do. One of the abilities he can do is he can summon an NPC, and that NPC now has like reasoning and acts with uses logic, and it's a little bit like Overlord in that like they're like his doctor friend is now real, and that's interesting. But which I didn't understand is a couple episodes ago there was this like shirtless dragon like Street Fighter like character that showed up that was clearly from the game that the our main dude is from, and I didn't understand what the fuck was going on with that. And as far as I can tell, that wasn't an NPC that he summoned. He tried to switch characters. He tried to switch like tunes, but that character reacted on his own and he wasn't in control of it. So it was basically like he brought in a character. It's hard to describe, but it wasn't the same thing as summoning like an NPC. Like he basically like gave over his control, but he thought he would be in control of it, but then that character had a life of their own, and I don't understand why. And also, it seems complicated and unnecessary. You have never cared for the term tunes. The last book I understand. He basically tried to switch characters to an alt. He tried to bring in an alt because the main was being controlled by something. So he tried to switch to his alt. But then his alt was in like autopilot and acting. I can understand if you don't like tune, I'll use alt. But yeah, he basically tried to swap characters to his alt, but then the alt was in charge of their own decisions. And so it didn't work. There's a lot about Demon Lord Retry that I like, that I think is interesting. But this fucking wizard character, I just can't tell if what the author and the creator's intentions are with this character. It's like male person who presents as female, but declares themselves to be male, and has desires for male characters, and that's all of that is fucking cool and great. But as I said, I cannot tell if that's supposed to be funny or just what this character's deal is. So it just feels weird. There's just like a vibe to it that I can't lock in on what's up with this minor character. So, because like in the opening animation, like the opening song, like he's like licking a lollipop suggestively, and then like his partner is like, hey, stop that. And it's like, okay. I don't know. I might be overthinking it with that character, but it just feels a little off. And I haven't decided yet. I would put, if I was going to rank the 4 Isekai that are out. There are 4 Isekai that are out right now. Arifureta, Demon Lord Retry, Isekai Cheat Magicians, and Do You Love Your Mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks. I would say the clear best one is Arifureta because it's interesting. Like I said, the battles are not over. Like, there's consequences. The dude definitely lost his fucking eye. He's already lost his arm. There's some stuff going on. It's interesting. Also, there's like a fun vampire. It's light and fun. I'm into it. Then, Isekai Cheat Magician, Demon Lord Retry. I'm not sure. I would say, I guess, I'm more interested in Demon Lord Retry because its take on it. It's mostly that it's not the wrong way to summon a demon lord. It's they summoned a demon lord, quote unquote. They summoned a demon lord. They summoned like a good video game player that was playing a different kind of game. I think that's interesting. That's mostly, and then also, like I said, now there are bunny girls, and I'm like, okay, you have somewhat of my attention. I'll see where this is going. And then after that is Isekai Cheat Magician, which it's pretty bland. It's pretty by the numbers. I don't think the fighting is that good. I like the idea of having two characters come from a world together. I think that's interesting, and I was very pleased that because he got summoned and she came with him. I'm pleased that she also has abilities. They're not as off the walls bonkers as his, but she does have some abilities and is also better at magic than he is. He naturally has more talent, but she is working hard and good at it, and I think that's cool. And I like that in an anime, especially in Isekai. And neither of them is a harem so far. I will say Ariforta's closing music thing is kind of gross, and I don't love that. But I don't know. There's some heart to that one. And then at the very bottom, so much so that I don't know if I'm watching the next episode, is Do You Love Your Mom and Her 2-Hit Multi-Target Attacks? I don't know if I'm watching that. The next episode. This last one, I think, was my last episode. I kind of like the idea. Look, the actual concept of a dude who's very psyched to go to another world, that knows all about that thing, that's very excited to live in a video game and try things out, that element I think is really fun. And then having like your parent come along with you, I think is interesting. It's the part where the world, the characters, the world, the story, everything is trying to like make us side with the mom and not the teen who is embarrassed by his mom. And I'm not gonna watch that show anymore. I'm done. I'm definitely done. Especially picking up Accelerator. Like, tomorrow I'll have the new tomorrow and Saturday I'll have the new Accelerator to watch. I'll have Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 2, which I'm so psyched about. I'll have Dr. Stone, I'll have Fire Force, and I'll have Fruits Basket. I don't need a show that I'm grossed out by and constantly not interested in watching. So, I have dropped an Isekai. You heard it here first, folks. Danmachi, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Season 2, is so good that I'm watching it. I'm watching it now before I watch Dr. Stone, which is appointment television for me. Dr. Stone is so fucking good. And like, there's such a big cliffhanger from last week. Like, this big, like, yeah. I know a character didn't get murdered, because it would be a fucking weird, like, there's no way I wouldn't know that he had gotten murdered. Like, I know he didn't get murdered, but I don't know how he got out of it. So, I'm very much invested in finding out, but I also know that a bunch of characters are joining Hestia's family, and the Hestia familia is fucking growing because of the supporter and the weapons smith and one of the fucking samurai are joining. I really thought all three samurai were going to join, but the one that's not in a relationship, I guess, is coming. Like, shit's happening. Things are popping off. And then probably the last remaining elf of a clan that everyone got murdered except for her, and now she works as a waitress, is probably going to help out. All this shit is great. Danmachi Season 2 is fucking rad, and I'm so psyched about it that I'm literally going to watch that before I watch Dr. Stone or Fire Force. Iron Bina says, Fridays are absolutely brutal for anime this season. Yeah, there's a bunch of shit, like I said, between tomorrow and Saturday, I have 5 shows that I'm going to be watching tomorrow and Saturday before my Saturday stream. It's a lot. And then I have one show I regularly watch on Mondays, and another show that I watch for Monday. One Piece I could theoretically watch right before the stream on Saturdays, but I have other stuff going on, so I don't. And I usually watch it after, which is good. But holy shit, like, there's just so much good stuff coming out. I wish there was more stuff on Sunday and Monday that I'm interested in watching. There is anime. Like, on Monday there's that Beast show, To the Abandoned Beasts, but I stopped watching it because it wasn't interesting, and I don't think it looked that good. Like, there was nothing keeping me watching that. If I find out it's good because people whose opinion I respect are like, holy shit, then I'll go back and watch it, but it didn't hold my interest, and no one I know was like talking it up, so I'm kind of done with that. And then this week we get the second part of the One Piece filler, and then it's done. Supposedly this filler is only 2 episodes, which is great, because how the fuck do we have fucking filler in the Wano arc? Just make Reverie longer. I know that it's to help sell the movie, that it's a tie-in with the movie, but fucking do it before we got to Wano. Don't, like, get a new theme song and, like, change the art style and bring back characters we haven't seen in a while just to do a fucking flashback to set up a character that's going to be in a movie. I'm annoyed by that. I'm annoyed about One Piece. And like I said, it's mainly because we just started a new arc that I'm super into and is super exciting. And then have that arc also involve just like stall for filler. Kind of pissed me off some. All right, we got some time left. I mean, I'm working on the waist right now, but if there's anything y'all want to chat about here in chat, this is a great time for that as we kind of get ready to bring this thing home. We got some time. We're gonna go for another 10 minutes at least. But if there's anything you want to chat about, now's a great time for that. Stuff that's exciting you. Like I said, I'm working. So Saturday stream will be at 6 p.m. Eastern time this Saturday, because I will be working that night after. So I'll be doing that. Basically, I'll upload it, eat, and then run to work. Trying to think if there's anything else going on with me. Yeah, got that. FlameCon's coming up here in New York. I have submitted to volunteer. I have not heard from them. I do not know if I have gotten into anything or if I'm going to be working it. If I am, I will probably take Saturday night off, like I did for Game Developers of Color. It's a 2-day event, and I'm trying to work just Saturday, so I might have to work late. Uh, but I'm still figuring that out, and I will let you know when I know more. Recyclable says, looking forward to Evo. I'll be keeping an eye on Evo. I don't have any plans to watch anything in particular. I am late in the evening going to be at working the next 3 nights. So I'm kind of like, honestly, the folks I follow on Twitter will tell me I should be watching a thing. I'm conflicted, says Lashbrook. I will watch Evo, but at the same time, I'm so far behind on the G1. Yes, I am. Well, I am just not going to catch up on G1. I'm just watching highlights. It's interesting that Street Fighter 5 isn't the main event this year. Yeah. I mean, I think Evo goes with the audience more than like deals they have. I mean, certainly Capcom. Evo and Capcom have mutually beneficial arrangement, certainly. But yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, and like I said, someone's going to be like, "Oh shit, coming up is this," and then I'll tune in and watch some of it. But I'm not going to be like running streams constantly, and just going to let people let me know what the cool shit is. And they will. They will tell me about the cool shit, and then I will check out that cool shit. I'm looking forward to the Samurai Showdown stuff. Yes, that competitive Samurai Showdown is not a thing that I have seen yet, so I am certainly interested in seeing what that looks like. All right, that's K. G30. Yeah, but I'm definitely interested in finding out what that's gonna be, what that looks like. And weird games. I like watching some weird fighting games and some anime fighters, and those are always fun to watch and check out. Is it this weekend that some of that Dragon Ball thing is unlocked? Like, play as Piccolo on the Xbox or whatever. And I was like, that seems like pretty good timing to put that out, as fighting games fans are talking about fighting games. We'll see. I'm pumped for the main stage. Unist, anime fighters are my jam. UNIST. And if Guilty Gear isn't there, I gotta sort my weird crew. Iron Bina, totally understand your love of the anime fighter. For me, I'm not a fighting game person. I mean, I loved Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Hi, Sin. Happy to have you here. It's been a little bit. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you there as we get towards the end of the stream, but still happy to have you. I haven't, I liked Dragon Ball Fighter Z a lot because I love Dragon Ball, and it was a great fighting game. It's a great love letter to Dragon Ball, and it was good. But one of the things that I haven't played a lot, that I played a lot of, the fighting game I might have spent the most time on is Guilty Gear and Guilty Gear X. Because one, I didn't have a lot of Dreamcast games, and I had Guilty Gear X. Guilty Gear, right? The second Guilty Gear? I don't know. I had a Guilty Gear on Dreamcast, and I played a shitload of that. My main was Chip. I really like wrist blades. Wrist swords are very cool, in my opinion. Chip Zanuff is a great character and nonsense. And I played a lot of Chip Zanuff. Yeah, I mean, I think like the anime fighters, those games, that style really appeal to me. Something fun and flashy about them. I was never great at them, but I always really enjoyed them. So we're working on the waist here and our skirt. Put in there. We can put. I think we put A7 on first. Doesn't say, but we should probably put A7 on first. I have awful taste. I actually like Super Saiyan 4 Goku's design. So the thing with Super Saiyan 4 is that it takes in some of the ape design elements of the whole idea. So it in a way pays tribute to the ape elements of the whole idea of Son Goku, the Monkey King, which is, part of the whole mythos and all this. I'm going to sneeze. So it does incorporate some of that. There are people who are better at talking about this than me, and so I will do my best to to say this as well I can. So one of the things that the elements that you get is they try to balance the difference between, well, shouldn't Super Saiyan be an extension of the giant monkey element of it? So let's take some monkey elements in and add it to this character. And there is a history in Dragon Ball and anime of not understanding, and especially in animation and all this, there's a poor job that is done in understanding, and at the very least American, and also other parts of the world as well, racism when it comes to African Americans in particular and black people in general. So there are elements of Super Saiyan 4 that are meant to evoke that, but often come across as racist and fucked up. And intentional or not, there's some parts of Super Saiyan 4 that are fucked up and not great. Also, beyond that, beyond the racial elements to it that are not great, and as I said, could be intentional, could not be, could be unintentional. Don't know, cannot claim to know. Beyond that, Goku's evil. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is like Super Saiyan 3 Goku is cocky. He's cocksure. He's confident. Super Saiyan 4 Goku looks like a fucking villain and smiles like an asshole. And it's fucking weird. It's weird how much Super Saiyan 4 Goku is like, what's about to happen with this dude? It's very strange. That has always felt weird to me. That Super Saiyan 4 Goku always felt like, is he still a bad dad at Super Saiyan 4? I mean, he's a bad grandpa at Super Saiyan 4. Does some blasts that could have hurt Pan. So he's a bad grandpa. And then by an extension, he's then almost hurting his son's daughter. So he is also being a bad dad. Yes. So yes, Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a bad dad. There's something like great about the, like I said, the thing with GT is that it's mostly terrible. Vegeta's mustache, interested in. Happy to see that. I like a world where Goten. I like that Goten isn't strong in that show. That he didn't have the drive to become like his brother or his father. That he like that it is a natural progression for Gohan to become a studious person, follow kind of the example that he was leading, get stronger when he needs to, but really not, not following it. I do like the idea that Goten is just like whatever. But also, there's so much of Dragon Ball GT is like, fuck you, bad fans. Take this shit. Oh, you like Trunks? Well, this Trunks sucks. Oh, you Goku's fine. We made Goku a kid. There's a shitty robot. Pan's annoying and is strong. Pan could be the strongest character in the universe, but we're not really going to pay that off in any meaningful way or do anything really with it. As one-fourth Saiyan, whose parent is incredibly strong and grandparents are strong, could be a very strong character, is shown to have great potential. We're not really going to do anything with it. She's mostly going to yell Grandpa through most of the series. Also, our prime villainous character in the whole show, our big bad, yeah, his name is Baby. He also sucks. But predominantly, we need you to know that his name is Baby. Oofta. Baby does suck. In some ways, that is traditional of son of Godzilla. Hey, you know what is cool? Awful characters. I will say this. Vegeta's mustache is great. I like the idea that they use the Dragon Balls so much that the Dragon Balls got fucked up. I like that. I like that the Dragon Balls got messed up. I think that's kind of fun. And I do like that one of the Dragon Ball dragons, the wish that they represent is a pair of panties, the underwear that Oolong wishes for. I've said that before on stream. I think that's kind of fun and a nice nod to the series. But overall, I also didn't think that these dragons were going to be a big threat, and it's weird how big a threat they were. And it feels odd that they were as big a threat to the universe. Also, that no one's like, hey, you use the Dragon Balls too much. Fucking give it a rest. They do that in Super. They're like, how often do you use these things? Wait, you're using the Namekians? What? You want to know where the Super Dragon Balls are? Hey, give it a break on all these wishes. What the fuck? I appreciate that. They're like, hey, settle down. With all these, like, changes to the natural laws of the universe you're doing. Back it up. I appreciate that. That is a small element of Super that I really like. Is just them being like, what's up? They monopolize the Dragon Balls. I mean, they're the only ones with Dragon Radar. Like, and then also sometimes, like, Goku just finds Dragon Balls and then keeps them around. So if you ever did want to collect all of them, you eventually have to go and find Goku and be like, hey, can I get that 4-star Dragon Ball? Would that be alright? Oh, you also have the 6-star? Because you were looking for the 4? Look, Goku loves to fight and allows the death of his friends constantly. Yeah. I mean, Goku is one of the most selfish shonen protagonists in shonen. There's the only character, in my opinion, the only shonen character who is less concerned with his friends and more selfish and more prone to making decisions without thinking about the people who love him is Gon from Hunter x Hunter. Because Gon is, I mean, Gon is a sociopath, uh, clearly, but also does not think of his companions ever, or and their will, and that what he does to himself could have effects on them. But Goku's up there as far as shonen protagonists go. Goku's way up there. Uh, all right, so we got weapons to build. We got javelins to put together. I think I said darts, but they're really javelins, javelin shields. We got a little bit more of the waist to put together, but almost all of it's done. We just got to put the side pieces on. So we'll connect it together and stop here before I start my dissertation on Hunter x Hunter. And how Killua is the real hero of Hunter x Hunter. Because Killua's feelings for his sister and his acceptance of her, despite all of her all the tragedies around her, his open acceptance of her and love of her, and non-questioning love of her, makes him the real hero of the show. Fights his own programming, his own hypnotic programming, to be a better friend. His motivation is to be a better friend and protect his friends. Killua is the real hero of Hunter x Hunter. In this TED Talk, I will no. So look at this. We're gonna build. We're gonna finish off the sides of this. Remember to look. Yes, the new Gundam kits. I will be taking an eye on some new Gundam kits. If there are pre-orders available, I'll throw those on my wish list. I will take a look at that. So yeah, we're gonna work on the weapons on Saturday. My Saturday stream is at 6 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. At 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. This Saturday is the next build stream. I'm sorry I'm doing early, but I am covering a shift, and I can't turn money down. I'm not in a position to do that. But thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time on the next. Thank you, Game Guide. For the follow. Yes, follow if you don't already. Turn your notifications on so you know when I stream. Tell a friend. This is the end of the stream. Have a great evening. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.